when I came to America, I met all the presidents of the United States, personally in the White House. Okay, Nixon was the first one. I was so excited. I'm from Germany and just there and working on the piano in the East Room, the Steinway. And social secretary comes to me and he said, Franz, the President knows that you are here and he owns the Steinway. He has some questions. Can he talk to you? And I couldn't believe it. But anyhow, I was with Ben Cliburn in the White House, and he had to play was the Emperor of Japan, Hirohito, when the ice broke with Japan, and he was invited to the White House, and he came. And usually, if the rehearsal goes well, I would fly home again. It's only about a 35-minute flight, to go home. And Van was so nervous. He said, Franz, we have Japanese television here, and God, the piano's in good shape, but God forbid that a note gets stuck or something, and you are not there. I got an invitation for you. And tonight, for the state dinner. And he said, but Van, I know, that's wonderful, but I have no tuxedo and there's a white tie affair, And he said, don't worry about it. We went to the Yellow Pages and we went to a rental place and finally he got a tuxedo. It was quite exciting. I called Elizabeth. He said, can you imagine, first time invited to a state dinner and I got my tuxedo and I take a shower and can you imagine they even sent the marshal over to pick me up to the White House. So I was very excited, And I took my shower and I got ready and they had forgotten, the guy in the rental place, forgotten the white tie. Oh, what do I do now, And, I pray about every situation in life, and say, Lord, please help me. I would love to go, what do I do now? And I called Mrs. Henderson. She was the social secretary at that time in the White House. And they are so nice, until that time, at least. But anyhow, she said, Mr. Mohr, it is white on white. Don't worry about it. It's not so important. You can't miss out. And I didn't feel right about it, And to go to a state, then it's a white tie affair and I have no white tie. So in my desperation, I went downstairs. And there's a lovely hotel, Jefferson Hotel, small hotel, almost in a walking distance of the White House. And I go to the dining room, there were some people eating, and he said, and I told to the whole group of people, said, listen to me, so-and-so, first I'm invited. And, and immediately one of the waiters, he said, wait, I help you, And he got, in a minute he came back, and he had a bow tie. They all had bow ties, the waiters, but they were black. But anyhow, and I was not worrying about because I know always, I'm a creative person, I ran with that tie to my room, and I had white out, and there was, but the material of that tie was so funny, it would not take it, it was very streaky, and so I went down and said, listen, look at this, it's terrible, I don't know what to do. And one of the guests said, why don't you go over to the Hilton Hotel? There are all those nice little stores, shops. Maybe you get one there. Forget it, nobody had it, So before I go and leave the hotel, there's a gift shop and a drugstore, like the big hotels there. And I go in there, but, and I prayed about it too. He said, Lord, and I just read the portal that morning. I read my Bible every day. He said, in Matthew 10:30, Lord, you know what you said. Don't you know that the very hair on your heads are all numbered? And he said that you read it in a context, anything which is important to you, you share it with good Lord, it is important to him. Okay? So he said, but now help me. But the good Lord lets your hands there a little bit too. Maybe to increase your faith, I don't know what it is. But anyhow, and I go in the drugstore there, and I see a package of 3 white men's handkerchiefs. I said, it's already something white, right? So I bought those, and there was I found a sewing kit, you know, with greetings from Washington, D.C., you know. So I went to my room and went to work. And how do I get that thing on? You know, I had to sew it on, you know. And as I stand in the middle and want to sew it on, I saw the tie was much too big. I had a tie like this. Super tight. We talked about it last night, and Ben was so excited because the story is also in my book. But anyhow, so what I come, and I couldn't change it because the guy came to pick me up, you know, the marshal picked me up for the ride. So I come to the dining room and Franz said to me, he said, Franz, that is an unusual tie. That is the tie you gave me. No, said Franz, I tell you, you know, and I told him this. He got so excited. You know, and he dragged me from table to table and said, look at this tie. No, this kind of thing. But thank God, how gifted people are. I told him last night the story. And later, that was my question to Ben. I said, remember, we were downstairs in the map room of the White House, you know, where the plan also was. You can pull also the maps of the world. But there's a little tiny piano, you know, a console, a Steinway, where the artist can warm up there, right? But I never forget, you know, after that is how it goes. From the dining room, you know, you go and pass by the guest of honor, and then you file into the East Room. That is the way it is. It is, you know. And that is what we already did, you know, and when we could shake hands with the woman too. It's amazing, you know. And to her, to the Highness, we only had to go and say, Your Highness, okay? But that's the way it is. But when I tell the story in Japan, that I shook hands with the Romito, no, no, you know, the Japanese, because they never shake hands with anyone. The poor guy, he must have been in stitches to shake hands with the Americans, you know. And, you know, the Japanese, so so we did that. I run downstairs again, and finally the music comes. When I've never seen that piece of music, of the national anthem of Japan. Okay? And how gifted people are. He looks at it, and he said, I told him last night to remember. He looks at he said, oh, I got it. You know, since that's a piano plays, let me look once more, you know. So I showed him again the music. I haven't, but Franz, I'm still nervous. Please go upstairs and tell Rex Gordon, he was the head usher. Tell Rex that you have to sit in the first row when I get stuck. You know, please bring me some music. He made me so nervous. And I said, when were you serious? I told him yesterday. He said, answer me that question. Were you just kidding or were you serious? He said, I was serious. Okay. But, and you're so Rex Gordon, impossible. Franz, I can't do this. The room was already full with people, only the 2 first rows for all the dignitaries, you know. I remember the Kissingers there. Remember the Kissingers? You know, with Nancy. And he said, that's what we do. And he moves the chairs a little bit there. He said, I put you in the second row, and if something happens, you slip off there and bring random music. Okay. And, well, anyhow, when he has a picture book, and Rex Gordon didn't ask for it. A few days later, he sends me the picture, big picture, you know, the photo in the Steinway Sons sitting at the piano. Everybody standing up because it's the national anthem of Japan.